Hello. As you can see, I'm alone. The investigation by Human Resources validated everything I and others reported. They did nothing to correct it. The staff split got much worse. Eventually I was fired. By telephone. Yes. I was fired by telephone. I went in and got my personal belongings, and that was that. I wrote on my termination papers that this was clear retaliation for reporting things that were completely validated but not corrected by the Human Resources investigation. To be sure, they did correct this after a fashion by getting rid of their two most competent and educated therapists, leaving the lowest common denominator in place and even rewarding some of them. The rest had learned their lesson. Isn't that ironic? They attempted to deny me unemployment with a charge of willful misconduct. However, when I went to the unemployment hearing, my employer did not even have the courage to show up and legally support their statements of villainy and slander against me. Their representative had written a letter to the unemployment judge some weeks previous stating they had absolutely no intention of showing up to justify their words and actions. So, just like the schoolyard bullies and the eye-rolling high school girls they truly are, they threatened and blustered and acted tough and scary. But when push came to shove, they didn't have the balls to show up on the playground. Because they are, after all, despicably dishonest and dishonorable slugs. My lawyers said I had grounds for a lawsuit. My employer's representatives did not show up because they did not want a legal record of this case. It is ironic that I had grounds to sue my Human Services employer under the Americans with Disabilities Act. Do not think these stories I've told are unusual. I have observed similar attitudes and behaviors and dynamics regularly over 30 years in the Human Services. This is the norm. As someone put it, is your program an actual therapeutic program from which clients actually graduate, or is it merely a refuge from stultifying boredom? Of course, from the client's perspective, I simply disappeared. They were distraught. They do not know if I'm dead or hurt or whatever. This is a bad state of confusion and distress to be in, especially if you are both mentally retarded and suffering from schizophrenia. Some felt guilt due to paranoia. Did I leave because of their violent behaviors? The duty of a therapist, of course, is to ease that confusion. To assist with reality testing. To tell the truth. And, of course, each therapist knew the truth. They have a complete and total duty to assist their clients deal with reality in an honest manner. Certainly, they should not ever manipulate the clients by taking advantage of their mental and intellectual vulnerabilities. They who are already so very vulnerable to manipulation, abuse, and confusion. But we are dealing with bullies and the people who enable bullies. And with people who are afraid to stand up to the bullies. The big boss told the therapists to remain quiet. They could neither affirm nor deny reality for their clients about my sudden disappearance. The therapists cooperated. They were afraid not to cooperate. This was itself an abuse of the clients. The big boss used and manipulated the client's mental and intellectual vulnerabilities to his own ends. To hide his bad behaviors and the employer's bad behaviors. By ordering the therapists to not help their clients with reality testing, the big boss thus willfully left the clients in a crazy place of confusion. The big boss betrayed all ethics, principles, and even basic human kindness. The therapists cooperated with it out of fear and collusion. There is a saying to the effect of principles only mean something if you stick by them when they are inconvenient. As was usual, if a staff member was sick or had a family death, the clients decided to make greeting cards for me during one of their groups. As usual, the greeting cards would be collected and put in the mail by the staff. The cards and letters they made for me, fully trusting them to be mailed to me, were confiscated by the big boss and disposed of. They were not mailed to me, but destroyed by the big boss. I'm not sure, but is that not a felony? Anyway, it was just another complete and absolute betrayal of clinical, medical, therapeutic, psychological, and psychiatric trust in ethics. Actually, it was just plain mean. Ironic, isn't it?